In this video, I'm excited to show you how to make training and onboarding self-service. And I'm excited because making it self-service is a game changer. As a manager, I used to have to block out 2 weeks in my diary every time someone new joined the team. By taking the steps I'm about to show you, it now takes me just under an hour. And it's way more effective. My new team members are getting up to speed 5 times faster and having a lot more fun. Okay, so let's start with self-service training. Now, for many tasks, you can provide someone with all the training that they need in the form of a task checklist. So, for example, my sales team have got task checklists for everything that they need to do, for example, how to share a quote. And I'm happy that this gives a new joiner enough guidance to get started and that they can reach out for help if they do get stuck. However, I want a sales rep to do some training before they start having actual sales calls. So if you look in our example workspace, you'll see a training folder for the sales team, and in it you'll see this checklist for learn how to run discovery calls. What we've done is list out a series of steps that will help the new joiner to see what a great discovery call looks like, practice it themselves, and then get approval before they do real calls with real prospects. This is really effective for a few reasons. The first is that someone can start this training without needing a lot of time in my diary, so they can get moving quickly. The second is that it makes great use of everyone's time. The new joiner starts by reviewing videos on their own, and when they need to practice, they can do it with a junior colleague rather than a manager. As the team leader or manager, my time is precious. Training new team members to do discovery calls used to take me hours. Now it needs just 20 minutes. The third reason is that every new team member will have the same experience, and if something's not quite working, it's easy to make tweaks to this checklist and then review the impact. Now, this is just one example. You can find many more in our example workspace. Let's move on to self-service onboarding. When someone joins a business, they need to go through 3 stages of onboarding, and for each stage, we have a self-service checklist for the new joiner to use. The first stage is company onboarding. In this checklist, so if we go into all company and onboarding and get started in the company, we introduce them to the whole team. We get them set up with all the tools that everyone uses. We give them context about our business and how we work together and so on, right? The second stage after that is then team onboarding. That exists in the individual relevant team. So for example, for sales, we've got their onboarding and we've got get started in the sales team. This time, we introduce them to the people they'll be working directly with, get them set up with team-specific tools, and share context on our goals and our unique ways of working within that team. The third stage is role onboarding. This is where we introduce them to the specific tasks that they'll be doing and show them how to get productive as quickly as possible. What's really nice about the role onboarding stage is that you can also use these checklists to help existing employees grow and take on new responsibilities. So I might have a new sales rep who starts off supporting inbound sales, but then later I can get them involved with account management by going through the equivalent onboarding checklist. Now, you might be thinking, won't this be a dull experience for the new joiner? And it would be if you left them alone to work through checklists that involve no interaction with anyone else. But just because you're using a self-service checklist, that doesn't mean removing the interaction. It just means making better use of it. So instead of me giving every new team member a lecture about our goals and our vision, instead they can read about our goals and watch a video about our values and make a note about any questions that they have, and then share these with their line manager when they next meet. Or they could share them with a buddy, a junior colleague who's there to help them with any questions that the new joiner might have. And that brings us on to the final piece of the onboarding puzzle. How do you prepare for a new employee or team member? Well, preparing for an employee is just a task. So you can document the steps as a task checklist and make sure that everything runs like clockwork every time. In our example workspace, we have this within the HR folder under employee onboarding. So we've got onboarding, we've got prepare and onboard a new joiner here. This checklist covers all the things that HR needs to do to get that new employee up to speed including sending the welcome pack and confirming that the team is ready to receive them and so on. I recommend that you start putting self-service onboarding in place for the next employee that joins your team. Once you've got your company onboarding level, you can then do that for each of the teams as well. So for example, for sales, they've got their process for preparing for that new joiner. Now, once you've got this in place, the time that you invest in setting it up would normally be paid back in the time that you save doing one-on-one sessions with that first employee. You'll also find that they get onboarded faster, make fewer mistakes, and have a fantastic resource that they can refer back to whenever they need it. And the magic will really happen with the next employee that joins the company. You'll already have most of the onboarding in place, so they'll get themselves onboarded while you get on with other priorities. It's worth repeating. Self-service training and onboarding is a game changer. It'll help your business scale faster and with less stress.